Hello everybody and welcome today. I'm so glad to have with us Larry Dean, who is a candidate for the Lawrence County Sheriff this year. Larry, and you've got round one over with.
Yes, sir.
So that's got to make you feel better.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate all the supporters that came out and supported me.
Yep. So now we're headed to November. We're here in the summertime, and we're actually standing here in Stubbs Park, and there's a lot of memories in our lifetime right here at Stubbs Park. So many family activities have happened here, and we just stand in a very old park here in Dublin, the city of Dublin in Lawrence County, and just a lot of rich history here, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Actually, we used to dance at the shanty and come down here and have parties. In the grammar schools, this is the first place the teachers would bring us. They right here to Stubbs Park, and it was a safe community at that time, and we wanted to make sure that Lawrence County and Dublin, Georgia stays that way.
Yeah. And a few things I want to talk specifically about today, Larry. So much going on in our country with such a divide between regular everyday citizens and law enforcement. And we see these isolated instances throughout our community and throughout our country. And I just want to see, where do you stand when it comes to law enforcement and dealing with citizens?
Well, first of all, basically by being in law enforcement, when I started over 30 years ago in law enforcement, it was a profession that basically the citizens of this country respected. And that's what, over the last years, is what made me have such a great concern about getting back into law enforcement, is because of the mindset of America. And right here in Lawrence County and Dublin, Georgia, I want the people to bond with me as the sheriff or all the law enforcement people, because we have an issue that's nationwide, but we're still a local community. And if we can just bring back the trust between the citizens of the county and the law enforcement people, we got isolated incidents throughout this country where there's a law enforcement makes a bad shoot, and it's like, that's a very small percentage of the people of this country. Most people respect law enforcement. And if we can just get that mindset back, that's the kind of leadership that I want to bring back to Lawrence County, where you can come to your sheriff, you can come to the deputies and have a confidence in each other. In other words, and when I started this campaign, people right now walking up to me, Larry, why did you want this headache? I love Lawrence County. I worked my whole career here. I want to make a difference. I want to make a change. I want to bring the needed change to Lawrence County Sheriff's Department.
What do you think, in your 30 years, what do you think about law enforcement here? I'm not just talking about Lawrence County Sheriff, but Dublin PD and Billy Lukey and his staff over in East Dublin. But tell me what you think about law enforcement in Lawrence County.
Well, just like East Dublin over there, Chief Lukey over there has built a relationship with the people in East Dublin. If we want to solve a crime, the first place they go is to the chief. And the same, I think Tim Chapman is going to be able to bring the same thing to the Dublin PD. In other words, he's out there building a community relationship with the people, and that's what I want to do as the next sheriff of Lawrence County. I want to be the sheriff that the people can come talk to. And I'll be truly available to them, not just in the election year. I'll be a sheriff 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And that's what I want to bring back to Lawrence County.
I know you've been at some of the prayer vigils this week and gatherings of community leaders. Tell me what you thought about that.
Well, one of the men last night, the reverends, said that the biggest problem right now is a sin problem. In other words, we gotta love each other. God don't see color, we shouldn't see color. So everybody's blood's red. And God created men in his own image. And that's the kind of, we got to bring a relationship back between the people and the citizens and the sheriff department of this county.
I've seen you, you love this community, that's obvious, but you support so many community things, you know, just like this month we're doing the telethon here for the Lighthouse Adult Daycare. But why is it so important for you to support community things like this?
Well, without a relationship, you can't have any better law enforcement than what the community will give you. That was just like when I was working with the state of Georgia. You got to build a relationship with the people that you're dealing with, the hunters, the fishermen, the general public. And to be a successful law enforcement, you've got to have that relationship. And that's what I want to bring to the sheriff department. That's what I want to bring back to this community. That's the reason when I taught hunter safety classes, but one child there may make a difference. The positive influence that you had. I know right here, Mr. Dawson, a teacher in Dublin High School, was a black teacher. He had one of the most positive impacts on me of making decisions about business and different things. And I'll never forget that. I mean, it's just, it just takes one person or one teacher or one law enforcement person to make a positive input on a citizen. And that may be the difference between a child going up to being in prison or being a productive citizen of this county.
You've talked to hundreds and hundreds of people since you've been campaigning this past year. What are people telling you, and what have you learned this past year from the citizens of Lawrence County?
Well, the first thing people tell you is, Larry, why do you want this headache? And that's, I mean, I bet I've heard that one statement hundreds of times. And I said, well, I want to make a change in Lawrence County. And I feel like the leadership is where it needs to be, and that's in the sheriff department. And I think I can make that change. I can bring that change. I can bring that. I'm a people's person, always have been. I did it, like I say, with DNR. I had 1 weekend a month off for 25 years. And I'll still be available to the people of this county as being their sheriff. I am a people's person, and I will listen to your problems, and I'll do everything in my power to solve your problems.
Okay. And finally, someone watching us right now want to talk to you, got a question, whatever it might be. How do they get in touch with you?
I've got a phone number, a cell phone. It's 478-278-8144. I'm also on Facebook, and I'll be glad to answer anybody's personal questions personally, or you can call me personally. I'll meet you. I'm spending my full time trying to respond to the citizens of Lawrence County. You know, the social media is great, but there's nothing like one-on-one conversation with somebody to really see my true values and my love for this community.
Okay, Larry Dean, candidate for Lawrence County Sheriff, coming up in November. He is the Republican candidate. And Larry, I do want to thank you. You always take time for me. I don't care when I call, and I'll have to tell you, when I call you, you answer the phone, or either you call me right back. So you are very accessible, and I appreciate you taking my call all the time.
And that's the kind of sheriff that I'll be to the citizens of this county. If you'll give me the opportunity to be your sheriff of this county, I'll earn your respect.
Okay, Larry Dean, folks, thank you for joining us today.